Hi, welcome to Topdeckcommander. I'm Wonky, I'm with Peggy, and this is our gameplay series.
Okay, so this is game 2 of the 3-part series. We're following Abaddon. So the decks haven't changed, but we'll see if there's a different outcome this time. So turn 1, we've started with me, Peggy this time, and it's just lands for the first couple of rounds again. Turn 1 solving for Jesus.
Now, how do we keep with Jesus from this point?
The question is, this time around, are you going to be able to not die first? So that'll help for you, that's solving for you, Wonky.
Yeah, I was very pleased to get that, just to try and keep up.
That's it, last in turn order, you do want to catch up with something. Okay, so I'm dropping a basic again. Then getting those ramp out just a little bit.
And a Witchclaw Talisman dropped by Dead Meat. That's very early in the game.
He'll be able to go find something that he wants. He'll have to give it to someone else, so again, a little political game he'll be playing. Like Jesus here with a bounce land, struggling with his land base just a little bit. But he's already cast a solving, so he's not going to have to discard there. Keep dropping the planes. In theory, you could get your commander out right now.
I think there'd be no point in getting the commander out now, though, because really it needs to be equipped with something. It would just be an empty removal target.
There's the Cloud Key again, it's coming right back in at the start of this game.
Will it do its same job as it did last time?
It's got a Swift Foot boost, so you got some protection for Abaddon now. Third basic, and I'm tapping 4, and I'm getting Delina the Wild Mage. So hopefully when she attacks, we'll be able to get a couple of copies, at least one of my other creatures or her. It does make non-legendary copies, so that's very helpful.
It's a nice interesting card, is Delina. Can add a lot to a game.
Then meets tutoring here, and he's giving the card straight to Jesus. Maybe taking pity on him for those bounce lands.
I wouldn't have given it to Jesus. Not a chance.
Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the first game, probably stop listening for a few seconds. Jesus won that first game.
That's why he wouldn't get it.
That's it, he wouldn't get it. Anyone else. Basically, well, anyone else but you or Jesus, so basically me. So I want that to go. So Jesus untapping, other than tapping that Witchclaw Talisman as well, there you go. He's got the mana for his commander. As soon as it's early, he's going for the setup here. He's going to search some of the talisman, he's passed it to me.
And now I'm feeling left out. I'm the one who never got a wish.
You got a solving and a Cloud Key instead, you'll probably be alright here.
Maybe.
I think considering I went first, I am behind. I haven't tutored, I haven't got a solving. So if you're in Jesus' position here, what have you tutored for? He's already got his solving. But whatever it is, he's not casting it, he's going to be holding it up.
I would probably be tutoring for more ramp at this stage, just so I can get the big boys out later.
Another plane, so that's 3 planes in a row. Probably wish we had a mountain right now.
The deck can run on planes fairly well, so I'm not too worried at this point. It just means Kedis is going to be held back.
So there you go, this time you have gone for Abaddon. Even though you haven't got any pump spells out of effect, you have got a Swift for boots. So they'll probably be going straight on.
Tapping 2 for Strata Scythe. Oh, with that card, I get to exile a land from my library, and it gets +1/+1 for each of those lands on the table.
So, making quite a clever decision here. Literally all 4 players are playing red, so there's going to be a chance for 4 lots of mountains. I mean, 3 of you are playing white, so 3 of you could have plains.
But there's mountains already on the field, so I chose mountains.
That's it, there's 3 mountains out, there's 3 plains out.
The chance of more mountains hitting the field, I think, slightly outplays the plains.
So you move to combat in response with a trigger on stack. Jesus there is going to remove your Swift Foot boots with a return to nature. How does that feel?
It was expected, he'd been threatening it, so it was unfortunate, but that's it.
Still getting up the Strata Scythe, but there's no haste this time, and no hexproof, so that'll be handy in future.
The haste would have been very advantageous here.
So good news for me, I'm untapping, unattacked. I've got a Witchclaw Talisman.
What are you tutoring for at this point?
At this point, I'm definitely going for a ramp. I think everyone's ahead of me. I've got to catch up. I'm hitting my land up there. So, fun effect, Witchclaw Talisman's very good if you can proliferate. If you can't, once you get to 0 counters, it does just stay on the field. I don't think Deadmeat's going to have a way to put more counters on it from 0, but that's going to be a dead card for a while for him. Third, I've tuned for a mystery card, could be anything, but I am casting a Solving. I think at this point it's the right thing to do. There's not too many threats on the field that will catch me up by a couple of turns, and allows me to cast Abaddon in the same turn. Because I use Path of Ancestry, I do get to scry, and I'm leaving that on top. So I've gone to combat, I'm attacking Jesus. I rolled 15 or more, so I get to make a copy. Because I rolled a 20, I'll roll again.
These are the Delina triggers, of course.
That was less than 15, so just 3 copies, all of Delina, and all going at Jesus. He's going to take 12. So there, I could have made copies of Abaddon. Really, I've taken it easy on him. That could have been a lot more damage. There's dead meat solving. All 4 players I was solving now. Is that what he tutored for in his turn? And if so, why didn't he play it? If it was me, I'm assuming it's because he's holding up removal. You get to see the Spectral Searchlight again here, so he's
More ramp.
That's it. He's advanced his board by a whole 4 mana this time with that land as well. And we've got a Power Stone Shard there from Deadmeat, so even more ramp.
He's starting to really get his ramp out now.
He could be on par for a big turn on this next one. Let's see what he's got.
And there's a nice mountain helping the strata side.
I'm feeling pretty happy right now because I've got a blocker. Deadmeat hasn't. And Jesus hasn't. Jesus is casting Impact Tremors. He's dropped his mountain. There goes Impact Tremors. So when a creature enters, each of his opponents will take 1. He casts Atla, and we all drop to 39. Got nothing else, so he passes to you.
But this time I'm hoping to pull out something with a bit more damage to it. I drop a Lion Slash. It's not a great card in this deck, but it can do the job. It's an equipment and a creature.
So this one's a bit better. This one's Prowler's Helm, so your creature will only be able to be blocked by walls. I think there's a lot of walls out there.
Dropping Hammer of Nazan afterwards for a bit of indestructible.
So we know that Arden's a problem, but he's going to make him a bigger problem. Just cuts down on how much removal we can use on him. So there's the equipment pyramid we're used to seeing on Arden. If it's me, I'm looking at Hammer of Nazan. That's a big problem. I don't run a lot of exile effects, so I'm looking for destroy and damage. So I'm going to really struggle against that. The fact it can't be blocked by anything except walls only matters if you actually have blockers and if it's big enough to be lethal.
Yeah, I think currently it's a 6/6 indestructible. And here I choose to swing at Jesus.
So he has the you can't block because of Prowler's Helm, so he's going to take a straight 8 there. And his life total has been cut in half. So I'm pretty pleased. Untap upkeep draw, straight to another land. You're the only threat at the table at the minute, and I can't block you, so there's really no need for me to hold blockers back.
Not as much as a threat as I have been in the past, but yep, I'm still a threat.
So we're mostly empty board, and only yourself being the threat. I'm just looking to expand mine. So step 1 of the plan, deal damage, so I can hit those second main cascades. So just the 1 copy, I'm targeting Delina again. They're both gone straight at Deadmeat. Again, I've chosen to make a copy of Delina instead of Abaddon, purely because I think if I target Abaddon, he will get removed. Even though there's no mana open, it's a good habit to be in. So I cast Chord of Ambition here. On cast, I'm going to Cascade, but that is a Monarch Fog. We'll come back to that. So I've hit Mask of the Schema there. It's the Connive equipment I'll be equipping at some point. Hopefully to Abaddon because he's got trample. So the Monarch Fog is what we're going to be using to represent the Monarch today and every day and every game from now. Much better representation than a sad Monarch card.
Everyone loves the Monarch Fog.
So I'm casting Security Bypass. Yeah, I'm going to cascade to less than 2 here. So we're looking for a 1-drop. There's a few in the deck, but it just might take a while to find. They've hit a Wayfarer's Bauble, so a little bit of extra ramp for me. I have got 2 mana open, so I can crack that when I feel like it. And Security Bypass going straight on Abaddon again here. So, step Monarchy triggers, and I'll draw a card. So Deadmeat untapping. Land. really at this point Deadmeat needs to start getting creatures out. He's got all that mana.
A discussion around the table of the best thing to remove seems to imply Abaddon is the main target.
As I mentioned before, indestructible on a commander. A big problem. So we're seeing Deadmeat's favourite planeswalker here, the Wanderer, going to prevent all damage dealt to him in permanents he controls. But very handily, we're looking for that Exile trigger again. Exile, really good against indestructible.
This is not what I wanted to see drop. Abaddon is very vulnerable to this as Swiftfoot Boots were removed.
This is exactly what I want to see. So he's also dropping his Adanto Vanguard. When he does mutate Snapdax, that's the only creature he has out, so that'll be the target. He'll be able to make it indestructible at instant speed. Deadmeat's entire game here for this deck is going to be looking at stalling the game out and hitting board wipes and having his commander survive. It's a really good tactic if your deck isn't quite as fast as you want it to be. So he's ticked down the Wanderer and he's targeting your commander there. How are you feeling about that?
Gutted is the simple one on that. I hadn't got too much power on board, and now Abaddon's gone, so I'm going to have to waste more mana on the recast.
Here's there hitting his land drop, everyone being able to keep up so far. She's here tapping 2, doing what Atla does, making an egg, impact tremor triggers, and we all lose a life. You're now at 38, nice healthy life total still. Deadmeat down to 33, because he's not actually taking the damage because of the Wanderer. So the Wanderer has paid off twice for him already.
It's a very good card.
I'm going to start running it more in my white decks. Here's worth mentioning Jesus left mana open there and told the table that if I make too many tokens,
he'll deal with it.
He'll deal with it, so that's not what I want to hear. Once Abaddon was removed, I think I became the threat there. So you're recasting Abaddon here.
Yeah, it's not the best use of my mana, but it has to be done. I need a creature on board.
There's no responses, so you go straight to combat and just gear him up with the equipment again.
I missed a land drop, and I have no mountains still.
In your end step, I'm going to crack that Wayfarer's Bauble. I'm going to make a good call here. Go for a swamp, not a mountain, because I have no interest in helping you make Abaddon bigger.
That's just unsporting.
So I'll untap, and in my queue the Monarchy is going to trigger. So each of my opponents will lose 6 life unless they discard 2 cards. It's a very handy little card for me because it means I can cast first main spells and have them cascade with Abaddon. So Deadmeat opting to lose 6 life there. Not a lot of cards in hand, wants to keep them.
I'm in a healthy life total, so I'm quite happy to lose the 6 life.
Jesus, less healthy life total, discards 2 cards. We know that one of them is Quartzwood Crasher, so that's very good to see going to bin. So could I get to cascade in my first main? There's been 12 life lost, so I'll cast Keeper of Secrets. Cascade straight into a Herald of Slaanesh. So all my demons have haste and cost 2 less to cast.
A nice bit of value there.
There are quite a few demons in the deck, so it does come in handy. Tapping 2 for Talisman, so we're going to go hit a 1-drop. There's a few left in the deck. The Keeper of Secrets is when I cast from anywhere other than my hand, it deals damage to any target equal to its CMC. So when I do hit a 1-drop, I'll be able to deal 1 damage to anything. I hit Sticky Fingers there, that's going on Delina. She'll have Menace, so when she deals damage I get to make a treasure token. Show those cards and put them on the bottom.
At this point, I think Delina could start to become a problem. Too many copies is a lot of damage coming to it.
So that 1 damage trigger going straight at Jesus there, straight to the life total. So I'm going to cast Feed the Swarm. It's another 2-drop. Very conscious I'll be aiming for a 1-drop off of it.
Do you have many 1-drops left in your deck at this point?
And there should be 1. I've losed 4 1-drops. We've seen 3 of them. So I've targeted Atla. Jesus has already gotten rid of it. He knows there's nothing he can do about it. You see a lot of cards here searching for just the 1-drop. And I've hit Cloud of Dominus. That's So 1 drop, so that's going to go on Abaddon on cast. Keeper of Secrets will trigger it. It's another 1 damage to Jesus' face. Because my commander is both red and blue, I'll get +1 twice, Shroud and Haste.
And you complained at my Swiftfoot boobs.
Then Fear the Swarm resolves and Atla Jesus opts to put back in his command zone. So cast a lot of value there first main, because I believe Jesus has removal for Abaddon. It's going to be a bit hard now that it's got Shroud. Abaddon going at Jesus, just because I can. And then Keeper of Secrets and Delina going at Dead Meat. So Delina has an attack trigger. Roll some dice. That's a 19, so we're going to roll again. All of these copies are targeting the Keeper of Secrets. So less than 15, so just 2 copies, that's an extra 12 power. Unfortunately, Dead Meat and Jesus have a plan here, so Dead Meat learning Jesus a white mana to settle the wreckage. That's going to exile all my attackers. A really good board wipe that hurts me a lot.
It's just what we needed at this time.
It means I do get to ramp. So I'm going to search for basic lands, equal number of exiled creatures, which is 5. So at this point, I'm not saying it's a spy play, but I am going for 5 mountains.
This will boost Arden's power considerably. Peggy obviously hoping for favour in the future.
That's it. I think so long as he doesn't come with me on your next turn, we're going to force Dead Meat and Jesus to have some removal for him. So I've been effectively wiped out there. I get to the top. I go straight to my end step, I get to draw a card as I'm still the Monarch. That won't be around for long. I've got the 1 blocker.
Dead Meat has a creature now and mana available. Will he play with Snapdax?
So you've been set back briefly, you're losing your commander. I've been set back, losing my commander. The only benefit being that I get to ramp. Is it's Dead Meat's turn to pop off and have someone deal with him.
And Snapdax is coming out, just as suspected.
So his only target is the Adanto Vanguard. It's an excellent one because it is indestructible. So cast trigger, you get to deal 4 damage to a creature or planeswalker, and he'll gain 4 life.
Currently, Arden is safe from this one as it's still indestructible. And the hammer is in his arm.
So he's chosen to kill my demon there, and I'm left with a completely empty field, defenseless. So Demi here just deciding who to attack at the table. He'll have double strike. He's deciding before he goes to combat though, he's going to down-click the Wanderer, and Arden's going to be exiled again. You have the mana to recast him this time.
Yeah, this is a seriously bad time for me to lose Arden again, but there's nothing I can do about it. I'd have preferred him not to tick down the Wanderer at all and to make a deal, but he made the play and there's nothing I can do about it.
The good news is, he's not hitting you twice, he's decided to hit me. He's hit me for 10 there, that's 10 commander damage, that is a big hit. And he steals the monarchy. There's a monarch frog for him. I like to think that's the only reason he attacked me. So it moves to his end step, draws a card and passes straight to Jesus.
Jesus is struggling at this time, trying to get hold of a plains. And it's another forest he's dropped. He's hoping for the plains and gets another forest.
He's got plenty of mana, so he'll definitely be able to cast something. So still Lightning Greaves there. Everyone at the table having some protection. Obviously mine got wiped out. But he's got nothing to protect, so he's just passing the turn to you. So you have got Lion Sash here, that is a creature, I think it's been overlooked.
Yeah, it's just been sat there patiently at the side.
So are you going to use that to swing, or are you going to use it as a blocker? What's happening here? So hitting your liquid metal talks around there. So the good news is the Wanderer can't hurt you anymore. So again, hit 1, it can't -2 and exile your commander, so you're safe from that. So not a lot of value hitting the Wanderer. So you're casting Bonehorde here. When it enters the battlefield, having a Zano trigger, and you equip straight to Lion Sash. So there's a quick
the gem dies, but that's irrelevant to the game.
So no one needs gems. It's fine. A quick count of creatures in graveyards here, and it's just the 2. It is a little pump.
I was hoping for a little bit more. I didn't realise there was only 2 creatures in the yard when I did the play.
Well, so unfortunately mine were exiled, so I can't help you. Because there's no Abaddon, you're having to equip the hardware here.
Yeah, this feels so bad in an Abaddon deck, having to pay an equip cost.
So we've got Powerless Helm on the Lion Sash, that's going to be unblockable because there's no walls out. So you're going straight at Dead Meat here, looking to take that Monarch Frog. He can't block. So
Two reasons. One is I want the frog, and two is simply because I wasn't too keen on the second Exile of Abaddon.
So revenge. Revenge is key here.
Revenge would be a strong word, but yes, revenge.
So you go to your end step, you draw. I untap my many mountains. So because I'm not the Monarch now, Card of Ambition trigger is lose 3 life or discard 1 card.
My life total is still high, happy to lose a 3 life.
Jesus struggling for cards, so having to lose 3 life there, and Dead Meat opting to discard a card. So that's 6 life lost. I'm recasting my commander here, and again using Path of Ancestry to scry 1. That's getting left on top as well.
At this point I see Peggy counting his lands, and I'm feeling pretty bad looking at my dismal 3.
Lots of mana. I just need to refill my hand somehow. So putting those mana to use, casting a Chaos Terminator Lord. Because of life lost by my opponents, I will get to Cascade. My earlier scry completely pointless because I forgot I was cascading. That's just bad planning on my part. Straight to another talisman. So lots and lots of ramp, but not opening my field up into be the threat that I want it to be.
And what does the Chaos Terminator Lord do?
So, beginning of combat on my turn, another target creature gains double strike. Really good for my commander because trample and double strike means almost guaranteed cascade. So casting Protection Racket here, because I'm going to cascade to less than 3. Hitting Elumber. Could have been another talisman for all I know, but Elumber going on Abaddon, so he'll get +1 and Totem Armor.
Totem Armor being the key.
Yeah, so that resolves first, then Protection Racket hits the field. Just explain to my opponents there, it's another upkeep trigger, where they'll probably lose some more life. They don't have to, they could refill my hand instead, but I'm hoping Jesus at least doesn't want to pay any more life to stop me having cards.
It's a good card, is Protection Racket, and they have to invest in one.
It's very good in this deck. Unfortunately, no haste. I'll give Abbadon double strike anyway, and then pass straight through all the way to end step and into Dead Meat's turn. A lot like me, he's got plenty of mana. The question is, what can he do with it? It's hard to actually pick who's ahead at this point. The board looked pretty full, but if you discount ramp, it's really 1 creature each at best. Now this is Thrilling Discovery here. As initial cost, he's got to pay a little bit of life. It's a loot effect, so you're going to discard and draw. So he's getting rid of some of his higher drops there, and hope to draw into something that can really affect the field. Casting Mark of the Vampire here, the first real piece of lifelink we've seen in this game. So it'll give his commander +2 in lifelink. Again, just looking to outlast his opponents there. So when he swings, that's a very big double striking, indestructible, potentially lifelinker. He'll be able to pay life for days to keep that around. Again, the question is, who does he go after now? Casting a Mask of Memory and equipping that to his commander also. Again with double strike, excellent, he'll get to draw 2 and discard 1 twice. Thrilling Discovery really helping him here. He must have drawn a couple of good cards, and they're going to help him draw some more.
And Dead Meat has a choice here. He can swing at Jesus and take him out, he can swing at Peggy and take him out, or he can swing at me to take some damage off me.
The problem being, no trample on his commander. So that 0-1 egg will block it effectively. But because there's only one player actually open, and that's you, Wonky, he's coming at you. I'm not saying the Monarch Frog has played a part here again, but I think also being able to draw 4 cards and discard 2 and gain 14 life.
He had to swing. I was just an unfortunate target this time.
That's it. If you kept a blocker, I think that could go potentially anywhere and not matter. I think if you had a blocker, I think that comes at me. So, here's a double strike. On the first swing, he'll gain life, get the monarchy, draw 2 and discard 1, and then he'll do it again. So your life total down to the same as Jesus' now. Dead Meat's way up in the 40s, above his starting life total again. Moves to his end step, he's the monarch, it's obviously his turn, gets to draw a card.
Jesus straight into his play of Rhythm of the Wild with no hesitation.
He's got no follow-up though. Keeps leaving mana open, not entirely sure what for. Maybe just got nothing better to cast. You're tapping the Lion Slash there. For the sake of your game, I hope you draw land. It's safe to say you're in a much weaker position this game.
Yeah, I was an early threat, but with nothing really to last through the game. These land drops that I'm not hitting are really starting to hurt me.
I think at this point you can't be too aggressive, you have to be defensive. There's a lethal Snapdax, there's a very big Abaddon.
I do have some defensive cards in the deck, but they're just not being pulled, and I wouldn't really have the mana to play them. I've been so crippled for mana this game.
Okay, so you get a Lion Slash there with Straticide, that's much bigger now. A lot of mountains on the field.
Yeah, I believe it's hitting for around 14 power-ish at this time. Could be wrong, but it's somewhere around that margin. Of course, it's still got Prowler's Helm, so it's unblockable except for walls.
You got some white mana open, so you can use its ability to exile some permanents from graveyards as well, get some counters on it that way. Wouldn't make it much bigger. You can make it potentially lethal on Jesus if you tap out. So, we've gone straight to combat here, playing defensively, not necessarily in your nature.
Not with this deck.
So that's a big chunk of power coming at me there.
I think at this point I was worried about how much mana you had, and the fact you'd be able to drop your hand fairly fast.
Yep, so that's 14 power, that cuts my life in half.
And I play Silent Arbiter here, just hoping that I can prevent major swings coming my direction.
It is nice to see you had a plan there, it's a very good blocker. So I have a few upkeep triggers here, so it'll be Chord of Ambition first. Get a Knob the Monarch, so it's lose 3 life or discard a card. Dead means discarded a card here. Jesus has lost 3 life. And you're going to discard a card here because your life is also extremely low.
Well, Chained to the Rocks enchants mountains, and that's what I've been struggling to actually find this game.
So Protection Racket triggers now, and Dead Meat is opting to pay the 3 life rather than allow me a Falthis. Doesn't want Death Touch on my commander. Jesus not paying 6 life there, which would be half his current life, so I get a Bloodthirst to my hand. And your trigger is a Chaos Warp, so you can pay 3 life, or I get a Chaos Warp in my hand. I'm guessing you don't really want to see that.
I really don't want Abaddon, if it comes out, to be Chaos Warped.
It is
I'm weighing up the options at the moment.
It is one of the 3 cards that gets around indestructible. It would definitely save me.
Abaddon being exiled twice at this point. If it comes out a 3rd time, it's just going to go with a Chaos Warp on the field.
So you've paid the 3 life there, and Chaos Warp is being exiled. So you and Jesus both down to 12. I'm on 14. Dead me the only one in a healthy position life-wise. So because of the life loss, there's been 9 in my upkeep. I get to Cascade again. So casting Bloodthirster, an excellent card. Hitting a Ring of Zaphod. It's a 2-drop. Not quite what I was hoping for.
But you'll be happy to see the Bloodthirster.
That's a Bloodthirster hitting the field, no one responding. Happy with that. I needed was a Herald of Slesh that's already gone in the bin to give it haste. Casting Balor here, another demon. We're hitting Mandate of Abbadon. So Balor's currently on the stack. And I'm going to target the Chaos Terminator Lord here and destroy all creatures with less than its power. Anything less than 3 is going to get destroyed. Which is really just the egg on Jesus' side and the Arbiter on your side.
Yeah, it's a shame to see the Arbiter go. It was another creature at least that had.
So it removes a blocker and allows for more than 1 creature to attack at a time.
So both Jesus and myself really struggle in this game. We're just not getting a grip at all, not getting any traction in the game.
So I've entered combat here, the Terminator Lord triggers, and Abaddon's gaining double strike. So the Terminator Lord has gone at Dead Meat, and Abaddon's coming at you, Wonky. It's 6 power with double strike, so it is lethal. first strike triggers, I'll get a connive, so I'll connive for 6. You're definitely dead here. You've got no removal. I think I would say it.
At this point, I've already realised that I'm out of the game and just curious to see as to how dead I am.
It's a bit of a mercy killing. So, discarding all those. There's only one land I've discarded, so I had to put 5 counters on Abaddon. So, regular damage occurs now. Abaddon will hit for another 11. And Chaos Terminator Lord will hit Dead Meat at the same time for 3. And the Monarch Fog comes back to me. Vascular Schema triggers again, and I'll draw and discard 11 this time. So Abaddon getting potentially much bigger. This was a good turn for me.
Abbadon has spent a lot of the game being a threat, and now he seems to be the largest threat available on the table.
So I've equipped the ring to Abaddon. I can pay 2 to regenerate him, so that'll help a little bit getting around board wipes. Move to end step and draw for the monarchy. So even though my life total's much lower, I've knocked 1 player out of the game, and I think I might actually be the threat again here. Dead Meat playing a land there. Wonky, what do you want to see happen right now?
Right now, I would like to see
Jesus get back in the game.
Jesus get back in the game. I would like power just dropped on the table to put a serious threat to both of the other 2 players. Removal of Abaddon would also be interesting for the game.
He's nearly lethal as a commander on his own. If I add double strike to him, he's lethal to anyone at the table. So this is a bad sign for me especially. Dead Meat paying 4 life to make his commander indestructible and hitting a planar cleansing. That is the most horrific kind of board wipe because it's all non-land permanents. That's everybody's ramp, artifacts, enchantments, creatures.
Yep, he chose the nuclear option. And to add an extra bit of salt, Jesus is now removing Snapdax.
I said Celestial Charm doing the work there. I think he was holding that for Abaddon. For whatever came at him, if we're honest.
It would explain why he's been holding up mana.
So Snapdax being exiled here. Choosing to put it back in the command zone, and then planar cleansing resolving, and the board being wiped. I will have a Balor trigger when Balor dies, but Abaddon gets to stay in the game because of Totem Armor, as it's trying to destroy all Totem Armor still on it. So with the Balor trigger, I'm having Dead Meat be dealt damage equal to the number of cards in his hand, which is 3, and Jesus is going to draw 3 and discard 3. The 3 is at random, so.
Of course, even with the board wipe of non-land permanents, Monarchy stays on the table because it's not counted as a permanent.
Then Dead has nothing else, so we pass to Jesus. So casting his commander for only the second time this game into an empty field. It's a blocker technically, just not a very good one against Abaddon. So it comes to me, I've got no more upkeep triggers, just a very sizable commander.
At this point, we're thinking Jesus must have nothing in hand.
That's it, he's tapped out, he's got his commander out, and I'm going to choose to just take him out of the game here. 18 with trample, more than enough. So, because of life loss, get to cascade some more, see if I can rebuild. We're hitting a 1 Power Stone. Obviously, I'm running out of 2 drops here, but we're hitting Arcane Signet. It's basically card advantage at this point. I'm hitting the ramp, which I don't necessarily need, but I will be able to cast whatever I draw. So, Chromatic Lantern there, another 3 drop.
Having the only creature on the field must feel quite good at this point.
It feels pretty good. I mean, I hit Bioblight there, but like I say, with the only creature on the field, there's no point giving my own creature -3/-3, so that's just going to go on the bottom. I'm going to choose not to cast that. Go straight to my end step and draw for the Monarchy. It's hard to see that Monarchy going away from me now.
No, the frog seems pretty suited to your style.
It's just a straight shot between me and Dead Meat here for the win. I have the giant commander advantage, and he has the life total advantage. So we'll see if he can pull anything out of the bag. He's hit a lot of removal this game. It's not beyond him to have some answers for me.
So Dead Meat does actually have the mana available for a straight cast of Snapdax.
Instead he's opting to cast Abbadon the Cursed here. It's got Death Touch, so that's a good blocker. It's definitely an excellent tag for Snapdax next turn. So back to me, untap upkeep draw. So I'm taking a calculated risk here and I'm swinging 18 at dead meat. Even though it's got Death Touch, I've basically baited him here. He's a little bit wary of a pump spell, which could kill him, so he's blocking. I know at this point that if he doesn't block, he probably kills me, because he just recasts Snapdax, kills me with double strike, because I'm struggling to get blockers out. Because of all that mana though, I'm just going to recast my commander.
I'm thinking those 5 lands that you received earlier have really helped you in this game.
They have really paid off. Let me cast a Commander Sphere there, another 3-drop ramp artifact. Be certain now that the only 2-drop left in my library is Bioblight. And it was Bioblight again, so that's not getting cast. I'm just going to shuffle and put that on the bottom. So I cast Talisman of Dominance. We know there's no 1-drop, so I'll just have to shuffle here because of the Cascade trigger. So straight to my end step again, and I'll draw for the Monarchy. I'm in, again, a good position ramp-wise. I've got my commander out. Do a little more card draw, something to finish dead meat. So it looks like we're heading towards the end turns here. Do you have a favourite to win?
I think
we're both on
you're
sizable,
definitely the favourite to win at this point.
Yeah, we're both on sizable commander damage, but I actually have my commander out. And plenty of ramp. It's really just removal I have to be wary of.
You've got card advantage from the Monarchy. You're in a very, very strong spot.
So dead meat casting Silver here. It's a partner commander in his deck, so we will get to search for Trin. This trigger.
It's a blocker, but it's not going to be enough.
That's it. He's only on 14 commander damage. I can only hit for 5, so it will suck some of that up. Or, as I say, he doesn't block, accepts the 5, mutates Snapdax, and goes for the kill. Provided I can't get any more blockers out. It is really who gets there first. Played another land, so you know there's not a lot in my hand. I'm going to float mana from the commander sphere and sack it to try and draw an answer. The good news for me is I found something. I'm casting Chaos Defiler, another demon. The fewer opponents you have, the better this gets. So for each opponent, I choose a non-land permanent they control and destroy one at random. One opponent, I'm choosing his blocker. So random, not totally random this time.
No, that's about the worst description of random you can have.
That's it. One of these 1 targets will be destroyed. So no blockers, straight through for another 5.
Dead meat really up against the wall now and having to pull an answer.
I've got nothing else, so move my end step, draw for minimal. What can dead meat do to stop 1 trample commander damage? Because we're on the same life total. He can still pull it back.
I think it would need removal.
So dead meat recasting Snapdax there. No mutate triggers. It is an excellent blocker against Abaddon. I will soak up all of that damage. Unfortunately for David, I have a plan. So when he moves to end step, I'm going to flash in this stunt double. There's a copy of the Chaos Defiler. So again, I'll choose a non-land permanent for each of my opponents and destroy one of them at random.
And randomly, I wonder what it could be.
That's it. We could roll a dice here. We could flip a coin.
Or we could just remove Snapdax.
We could remove Snapdax. He's got 2 mana open, but the way's pretty clear for me. I'm being extra cautious here. I'm casting Angrass Marauders. If Abaddon doesn't kill him, I'm hoping the other 2 creatures do. So I go to combat, send the entire field at him.
And game over.
It hit him for straight 30 damage.
So that was the end of that game.
Yeah, it was a tough grindy game, that one. A lot of beatdown. Everyone dying one at a time.
Yeah, I think it was a very poor outing for both me and Jesus on that game, but these games happen. Abaddon was still a threat despite having very, very little mana.
You land routed. It looks an awful lot like I flooded, but it was actually just a lot of ramp. Obviously, I'm very pleased. This is game 2, and Abaddon's got the win this time.
Abaddon was very, very powerful towards the end there.
He's not really built for killing with commander damage, but he did kill all 3 players.
It was nice to see. Not nice to be on the receiving end, but nice to see.
That's it. Once you managed to die first there, so maybe some caution in the next game would be nice.
I did get Abaddon removed twice to exile. There's not a lot I could have done about that one.
I think in that game, even though I got the win, Deadmeat dictated a lot of the play there, just by constantly having removal, hitting board wipes, really controlling the field, just not quite managing to grind out a win for himself.
My options were limited and Jesus' options were limited. It was really a 1v1 between Deadmeat and Peggy for most of the game.
So again, a reminder, this was game 2 of 3 in 3-part series where we follow Abaddon. That's 1 win for Jesus with Dinosaurs and 1 win for myself with Abaddon. So possibly a decider in the 3rd leg, we'll see what happens. But for now, that's all we have. That's goodbye from myself and Wonky. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you enjoy what you see, and we'll see you in the next game.